In the motel, and in front of people, he's like, and because you're sleeping with guys, then you're no longer going to be a member in the order. And even right here, he's like, I know you want to be in the order, because I'm like, I'm not going to just like, you can't make me leave. And he's like, so if you're going to be in the order, this is how it is, and this is how it's going to be. You're going to keep Kollene and Shanell from calling the cops anymore. You're not going to tattle on this person that did things like sexually abused when I was young. He was like protecting that because he didn't.
So he knew that you knew about someone who was sexually abusing.
I was sexually abused.
Oh, and he wanted you to shut up about it.
Oh yeah, I made the deal with him that I wouldn't say anything, but I had no control over what my sisters were gonna do.
This is such a touchy subject, so we don't have to talk about this too much. But
we
in
could
the
even block
order,
it if you don't like.
Yeah,
but.
no, this is your story, so I'm only cutting out what you want cut out.
Okay.
But I do want to cover that in the order, sexual abuse happens way more. It's more prevalent and it's more brushed under the rug. And so this is just a prime example of a numbered man trying to get someone to shut up about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really good to point out that this is a still very prevalent thing that's going on in the order. And it's because people try to shut you up.
Well, I think like I said, I was one of those young gabies that were obviously gay.
Gabies?
No, I just said that.
I've never heard that term.
Like you could just tell. So I think it was like easy target.
Oh.
And I wasn't the only one. When I left the order, there was other
victims from the same person.
That they were also gay, and maybe they were obvious too.
Wow.
To where the same person did that to them.
Oh my gosh.
So,
and of course it's going to continue because they're shutting you all up and allowing it to just blossom. I definitely want to do a video on that, but I know it's like such a touchy subject for even like viewers to watch. So
after I left, I went to like just Job Corps. I don't know if you've heard of Job Corps.
I think I'm not.
But they had like a 15-minute like just education on watching out for predators or sexual abuse and stuff. And I was like, the order needs this 15-minute class.
Wow.
Like, it's just a 15-minute class, and I was learning so much.
Because we were not taught that stuff.
I always felt like it was my fault. And, like, this has happened because of me. And to where that class, like, even, it was just, like, a weight off my shoulder to where, like, that wasn't me.
It wasn't at all. Even you saying I kind of feel bad because you're like, maybe I was an easier target. But at the end of the day, there was a person that was victimizing all of these people, regardless of them being easier targets, whatever, you know. I can't believe that he would bring that up and be like, hey, so over the agreements, you're going to get Shanell and Kollene to not call the police on me. You're going to protect your abuser. What was the other one?
And you're going to not talk to outsiders anymore. You're not going to talk to insiders. No insiders. Like, who the hell am I talking to?
Yourself.
You're going to work. You're going to go to work. You're going to go to this motel, and you're going to be your life. And you're going to pay this much for the motel. And I'm like, I don't have that much money. I don't even make that much money. Oh, and he's like, and don't worry about your mom and the kids. They have a new brother that's going to take your place and take care of everything you were taking care of.
What?
And I was like, what are you talking about? And he tells me who, and this person wasn't even legally allowed to be at his parents' house or at his mom's house because of molesting his siblings.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, I'm worse, and I was like, in their eyes, I'm worse than this guy. And he's gonna take my place in my brothers and sisters' house.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
And I was like, I asked Daniel, I was like, how is this right? Like, I don't understand. Like, I was still order brain trying to like comprehend his like
logic.
Yeah, maybe there's a reason, because everyone always says there's a reason they ask you to do these things. And so I was like, what is the reason? And he's like, come to church Sunday and all your questions will be answered Sunday. And I was like, fuck this dude, I never want to see him again.
Yeah.
That's what went through my mind. I was like, I'm done. I'm never going to see this guy ever again.
There's no reasoning with him, too.
Right.
Did you go? So you didn't go Sunday?
I did,
Okay.
but I didn't. I went to go talk about my money that was in Daniel's back account. Like, our back accounts go to our dad's account, family account.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I can show you because we have...
How did you get all this proof?
Because at the time, I had a good reputation up until that day.
Wow.
So I
And
went...
that was 7/7/11, you were saying?
Well, no, that's just when I officially, like, took all my money and, like, cut ties. I actually technically left, like, as soon as summer hit. I was like, I even told my boss, I was just like, I can finish the school year out because I know you guys need someone to cook for all the kids, but as soon as summer hits, I'm not in the order and I'm not. But I wanted to get my money, so it took till that day to get my money. So that's the day that I say it's official because I left with everything and got out. Yeah, I could show you here somewhere. It says co-op 15.
And that's his number?
That's his account. And then
Company. Yeah.
company 15, that's his
And then
account.
there's the 36 as
And
well.
then there's my account, and you can see.
So he's getting all of his kids, there's like
Back
hundreds
account.
of kids that are getting this money just flowing into his account.
Oh yeah, like I don't know. I always remember hearing stories about him going to Vegas and with $50,000 for business trips. And now looking back, I'm like, those weren't business trips. Those were do whatever the fuck I want with everyone's
What?
money trips.
Yeah, and what is Daniel doing for business?
Well,
What's
yeah.
his job?
I mean, he has businesses that everyone else runs, and he takes all the money.
Exactly. Like my dad actually did have business trips in Vegas because they had conventions because
Yeah.
he was a computer scientist. How were you treated after you left the order?
Oh, I got to stay from that day till I actually like left.
Did they know you were going to leave the order?
Everything they could do to get me out, they were doing.
Really?
So it was pretty bad. Like I used to go to the dances to tell everybody not to marry Shanell's ex-husband. I would literally ask a girl to dance and be like, "So don't marry." Anyways, how are you?
You like have a flyer with his picture on
Right?
it.
I was like,
There you
he
go.
beats his wife. I had one girl, she tells me, well, if God tells me to marry him, I'm going to marry him. And I said, God doesn't want you to get beat all the time. So I bet you he won't tell you to marry him. But anyways.
Other day.
Yeah.
They allowed you to work at the school till summer, but they were pushing you out as fast as possible. Were people like being rude to you?
Oh yeah,
They
so
knew.
that's why I brought up the dances.
Oh,
Because I
okay.
went to the dance to do my normal thing of telling everybody,
My normal.
like, don't
Walk
marry
around.
this guy, he will hurt you.
You like have a list. Okay, I told her.
I told everybody. Come on, I gotta tell you again if you don't remember. It's like, so I asked a girl to dance, and she's like, "No, I heard you're gay. I can't dance with you."
Oh gosh.
And I was just like, oh, then it got awkward. I'm looking around. This whole room's looking at me like that. Oh boy. I was trying to be like, one man doesn't have this much power. How come everyone's listening to this guy?
Yeah, especially with like, even I remember being like, how is he even still a numbered man for the things that he's done? But it's because he's Paul's brother.
Right.
So everyone believed him because he was higher up, right? Believed that we should be treating you bad. So did you dance with anyone that night, or?
They all said no.
Really?
They all said no that night. Which is weird because you don't get told no.
Yeah, you're not
So-
supposed to say no. Like I was taught that even if they're married, because I thought it was so gross dancing with married men, but you can't say no. But they must have been told that to say no to you then. Or
Yeah,
a
they
talk.
had to have been. But it was like within days.
Wow.
It was like maybe 2 days.
And then all of a sudden everyone turned.
Yeah.
Did you have any friends still, or anyone that still?
I wasn't allowed to talk to any order members, remember? That was part of the deal.
And you were following through it. Then?
Not exactly. I was trying to until the dance showed up.
Yeah. Like my opportunity. I gotta help Shanell.
So when I did try to do what they said, like I went to the motel, I had a half brother following me, all like everywhere, and I was like, well, maybe he's not following me, right? So I'm gonna go to a burger place. I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna take my time. He stayed outside, waited with his car started until I was done, and then followed me back to the motel
Why?
because that's what because Daniel told him to.
Oh.
Like at that point, I was scared. I was like, so if I do leave, I'm gonna change my name. I gotta disappear. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna have any drama with these people. So
That's creepy. Is that where Val comes in? Like,
Yeah.
Where you change your name? I didn't know that.
yeah, I changed it before I left. Actually, that's one of the things that kept me like technically there. Besides getting the money, and I just wanted to change my name legally before I disappeared on them. 'Cause I didn't want to be found or killed or.
That's scary. So when the show came out and they were trying to protect Melanie's sister and like not show her face because she's the one that we're knowing where she lives and stuff, my dad laughed and said if we wanted to know where she lived, we could find out like that.
Oh yeah,
So you just ended up changing your identity when you left.
right. Until like if it was literally like a couple years later.
You probably did things too to make you feel safer, like
Oh yeah, good to go.
yeah, get a gun, maybe like cameras, stuff like that.
Like, I learned about like how the laws are actually here to protect us,
Mhm.
and the order could get themselves in trouble. So maybe
Right.
just leave me alone.
Yeah. And I think that there's more fear when you first leave because you think that they're more powerful. And they are powerful, but there's also a whole other world out here.
Right. They are just a little
Mm-hmm.
fish tank, and it's not gonna do anything to me if I don't go there.
Did you go by Val when you left?
Yeah. It was so. Oh my gosh, it was interesting because of the trauma. But like, so I left the order, and I had no education, no proof of high school, nothing. So I was like, I went to Job Corps. Like, I went to Job Corps, and then that was when I first started going by Val. And it was funny because the night guy, he came to wake me up for my shift in the kitchen or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, Val, and that's not my name. I don't know that's my name. So like, and I'm still super paranoid. Keep that in mind from everything that just happened. So this guy, he like pokes my shoulder to wake me up, and I like full on kicked him into the wall.
Oh my gosh, you just like.
And this staff member was like, come with me, you're getting out of here. You can't just kick us, you just kicked me. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, he's like, I called your name several times. I'm like, that name's new.
Yeah,
like,
I usually go by Gerald, but I changed it to Val. And
like, I was molested, and I just am very jumpy when I sleep.
yeah.
And so like,
Were they like, okay, that checks out, or were they like, no?
well, they actually ended up going to the counselor and working, and they're like, after they found out the story was real, they were like, then they were like a lot more careful. The other guy was a little bit overly careful. It was kind of like, he was sweet. He was really sweet. He's like, Val, you're okay. You're safe here. And but like, I wasn't used to that kind of stuff, so I was just like, this guy's really weird.
Oh my gosh, I had so many experiences like that when I first left. I was like, why are they talking like that? It's because we were so used to growing up in this trauma, like chaos, and we kind of like not thrived, but we were in survival mode in that.
Well, and you don't address feelings.
Oh yeah.
You shove them down deep.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like, so it's not like someone's there to support how you feel,
So it
because
was
that
someone-
wasn't a thing in the order.
Mm-hmm. Well, like even I was talking about this to I think it was Shanell, I don't know, it was someone, and we were saying, well, mental health too, like and anxiety and depression and all that wasn't even in our vocabulary.
No.
So like him, or was it him that was like being nice to you?
Oh, he's a sweet guy, yeah.
Yeah. That's just so unfamiliar, even though that's like a healthy thing. You're like, this is uncomfortable because I don't know what healthy is.
Yeah, he did like bed checks with his flashlight, and I would swing if the flashlight came near me.
Really?
I know, I
That
was really
bad.
scared apparently, and I felt really bad.
Did you, when you left, get into therapy soon after, or realize that you needed therapy at all?
I have done therapy, yeah. And I didn't like, so I did it for a period, and then I was like, I think I'm good.
I do that too.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I needed to go back.
And I use YouTube a lot. I literally, like, if I had a question, like I dealt with a breakup and I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna YouTube how to deal with a breakup. And I watched a bunch of videos, and there was a bunch of really, like, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. And then there was like, oh wow, this is gold.
Yeah. You can find a lot of good information out. on
Yeah.
there.
YouTube, I still use it as my
Yeah.
therapist sometimes, because I'm like, how do I deal with this in a healthy way?
Right.
I think the therapist was a little too gentle for my order brain,
Really?
because we weren't, how we were just talking about
Oh,
how,
yeah.
yeah, you don't talk about like how you feel and like really go into it. So I felt like she was too gentle, and I was like, I'm ready to move on, let's go.
Where does that go? So obviously, like I already asked, like how were you treated when you left? But all ties were cut then.
Yeah, pretty much. I showed up at my mom's a few times, and cops were called.
When you showed up,
Yeah,
who called the cops? The guy that's supposed to be watching over the family?
right.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Wow. What are the cops?
Or Daniel.
doing?
Suddenly Daniel's there. Every time I showed up, Daniel was there.
Wow.
I was like, Daniel, you're never here. Why are you all of a sudden here all the time?
Yeah.
Like, you never had time for us before.
That is crazy.
You have more time for me now that I'm not in the order than my entire life that I was in the order.
Right. Did the cops ever show up? Or you
Yeah.
just leave?
Well, I usually just left, but he called the cops every time.
Wow.
He even blocked you in with his car. Or
So the
tried to
cops,
block you
yeah,
in.
he blocked me in so that I would be there when the cops got there. But then my car was a little car, so I just got out anyways.
And it was like the farmland too, so there was like so much. I
Right.
remember going out there. It was like so much like field out in Woods Cross.
I just drove on the grass to get out.
Yeah, so
Actually.
Yeah.
he was able to just drive
I was
on
like,
the
dang
lawn.
it. His little what, Prius? What does he drive?
I don't remember it at the time.
Where did you go when you left? Did you leave at the motel?
I went to the motel, put everything back in my mom's house. I'm like, you want a vacuum cleaner, right? I don't need it. I have a car I'm living in, so I don't
Have
need
room for it.
Right, what is a vacuum cleaner gonna do for me? I might stop by once a month to clean out my car with it.
Did she know you were living in your car?
So probably. It didn't live in my car very long.
Oh, okay.
I was only in there, and I would like go to the gym and shower at the gym, and
Mhm.
still go to order to work. Like I was just like I'm still going to work.
Yeah.
But my uncle. So I remember posting on Facebook. I was in the back of my trunk. I slept in my trunk because there's a big space in the car.
Wow.
So I was just like, this is sad. So on Facebook, I'm like, I think I need help. And yeah, and then I posted that. And then my uncle, who had left 15 years prior, called me and said, I heard about what's going on. You have a place at my house. And like I lived with them for like 6 months.
Wow. It really sucks how like I've heard people multiple times where they leave the order and they live in their car because they isolate you so much too. Just like you had that uncle out there where you had no relationship with them because
I hadn't talked to him since he left.
Because you're not supposed to talk to, you're supposed to cut them off. So you had a community that, but you were not allowed to have that community. So here you are living in your car, you don't think that you can go anywhere. And I've had people, heard of them living in their car, they didn't know, their family on the outside didn't know anywhere to go, and then they end up saying, well now I know what it's like on the outside, so I'm going to go back.
Right.
But that's not what it's like on the outside, that's just the crap that the order made you have to go through by isolating you so much.
Right.
So he took you in for 6 months.
Hmm. And I was so traumatized by what had just happened that I didn't even come out to him the whole time I was there because I was like, they're Mormon and I don't want to go through that whole thing again.
Yeah, have them kick me to a motel.
Right. But he came to my wedding and everything's good.
Wow, that's awesome. What was your first, I keep asking extra questions, but I'm so intrigued. What your first, so it was Job Corp, so was it a kitchen job?
So they give you, Job Corps gives you your high school and a trade. So yeah, I went for like culinary arts and a high school diploma, like a GED.
That's cool. So your first outside official job was in a kitchen then?
Well, I actually worked at a hotel in the kitchen
Oh, okay.
and bartended too.
Dang, that's cool. Now we're getting to like right now, how long have you been out? We kind of talked about that. You went
Like,
since 2011.
it feels like 12 years because that last year I was basically 1 foot out.
Mhm.
So it was basically 12 years.
You don't have to go into this question because some people get like weird about this question, but what do you believe in now? Like religion, what happens when we die?
You need to find for yourself, each person, what you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm just interested to hear because you were so believing in the order.
Oh, yes.
So now, where's your mind, you know?
So-
did it ruin religion for you?
so, in some ways, yes, and in other ways, no, because I'm not going to give the order that much power.
Mhm.
Something that is not in my life and no longer a part of my life, I don't want to give it the kind of power that is going to dictate the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't call it God. I feel like that name has been tarnished
Yeah.
and super corrupt where like I can't call it God. I believe in universal energy and that we're all connected on some unseen level, and I just live by that truth. I have a lot of weird beliefs, like probably more pagan. I believe in spells. I feel like that's what a prayer is.
Well, paganism goes all the way back to Bible, to Jesus' time.
I feel like I feel like Jesus and Catholic took pagan beliefs and rituals and moved them into like their religion. And every religion since has like taken from a previous religion, it seems like, and just like went off of that. So a lot of what I believe is similar to very pagan type beliefs. Not even limited to that. Because there is a little bit of organized religion trauma to where I just don't see how someone isn't being selfish when they get that power, that position. I'm like, someone is scraping something off the top.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't need that. I'm fine over here by myself.
Most people that I've asked this question to that we've here have a hard time with organized religion. That's the thing, because we've seen so much of what organized religion can do, and when someone gets that much power in their hands, they get like drunk with power. And I have personally not been to a religion or church or whatever gathering where I feel like this preacher really does, feel like someone I want to follow. Like I'm always like, and maybe that's the skeptical ex-cult member in me.
I've met different leaders and stuff after that. I'm like, I really respect this person, but then like, oh, you want to join? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Like you're a very sweet man, but no.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Like, I don't think I could ever get baptized again. This is my favorite question. I ask everyone that I interview, and it is if you were, because a lot of organ people watch our channel.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to say something to the org people watching and have them actually take it in and actually believe what you're saying, what message would you want to tell them?
So, to the order people that are listening, be patient with us. If we forget something, it's been 12 years, we move the fuck on.
Yeah.
We don't even care about your comfrey or your... So if we tell a story wrong, which I've caught, and I don't mind. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to bring it up right now.
Yeah, bring it up. Oh, good.
But like when you talked about the Native American who left because they're like, you guys are eating comfrey and that's poison, and it actually wasn't comfrey. It was, and I'm telling this for the order people listening, because I don't want you guys to be like, oh, see, they just lie. They just lie. We just moved on.
Plus, I have to add to that. We heard things just like you guys hear things, and when I was meeting up with Emily, I heard things different than she heard them, because you're in a group where everyone's gossiping and everyone's talking. This is a melting pot of information. So
well, not just that, the order will change their own stories, probably to make us look like liars.
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, if you're saying something that's maybe not factual to what you guys remember, it's not
or even getting taught today.
Oh, true, because they do change the teachings. Like when I brought up, I did bring up the video, they told us you have to have 3 wives to go into heaven. People are like, oh, they're not teaching that anymore. But it's like, we're not sitting here trying to do any false information. This is your story from your eyes, and we're lucky to be able to hear it. I want to add to, like, you can't discredit his entire story because, like, maybe one little thing wasn't lining up with what you were taught.
Or told, even.
Yeah.
Like, and why do you believe what you are told? So why do you believe what you believe? Did someone tell you this?
You're not born with that knowledge.
Right.
Someone's teaching you.
I mean, I don't know. But I do want to finish that comfort story. So the Teton trip was that trip. And the Native American, so those people were like breaking their fasts, and they were apparently directed to eat this plant. Like it was like a Teton plant, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know what that is because we never had it in the order, but I remember the story in Sunday school. And they said that he wouldn't eat it because he knew that this was poison and these white men are crazy. So I'm out. Like,
Okay, so it wasn't comfy?
It wasn't comfy.
So basically, what your thing would be for them to take in is to just realize that, you know, this is my story from my perspective, and don't discredit it in its one little thing. And I have I've welcomed any order person to say in the comments and correct me if I'm like, and I've even asked like, correct me if I'm wrong, like, but this is what I was told.
Yeah, I just don't want you guys to have the order to have that power over your head and say, oh, he got one thing wrong. See, they lie. I remember thinking that. I don't
The
understand.
lies were what they told us.
And then also, what else would I say to order person is, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah. Ask yourself, are you happy? Have any more ideas or questions for future videos? I feel like there's so much we could have covered as well. Then leave them in the comments down below. I'll read them, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Bye, guys. Oh yeah, everybody. Thanks for making it through this video. I know it went pretty dark. I could see my defense mechanisms building up in it too, so apologize for any of that. Hope it wasn't offensive to anyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.